An empty lot in one Southside neighborhood is filled with trash. Neighbors say they've called the city and the property owners with no response. Ava wants to know, how do I get property near mine cleaned up? Ken's 5 consumer reporter Niccole Caan explains it takes not only elbow grease, but patience. In tonight's Eyewitness Wants to Know.
It's just continuous trash.
Eva normally avoids walking this path on a lot near I-37 in South Cross, but she can't help seeing it since it's next door. Even a privacy fence didn't help the view.
This is my protection against the people that come through here.
Bottles, bears, beer, and boxes. That's only part of the problem. The lot's not just dirty, it's downright dangerous.
They sit here, they have the little tarp there to kind of cover so people don't see what they're doing.
Eva says it's an ongoing problem with no solution in sight. Calls to the property owner and the city go unanswered.
I've called them numerous times. Out of the whole 8 years I lived here, they've come out maybe twice to actually clean.
Records show the Dollar General behind the lot owns the property. The city recently issued a violation and gave the owners 10 days to clean it up. That day came and went. The trash didn't.
He said he already signed the contract with the contractor to clean up and cut.
Amin Tamaz with the city's Development Services Department says Dollar General got more time.
If we see progress or if we see the owner is showing us that they are willing to do it. And if they need another week or 10 days, normally we issue that extension.
What I do want to see is all this trash removed.
And stay removed. Eva says the lot never stays clean for long.
From plastic bottles to just your everyday trash to just everything, honestly.
The city says repeat violators no longer get a warning violation. Instead, they immediately get a citation that comes with a fine between $300 to $1,000 a day.
Something really, really needs to be done.
It leaves Eva wondering if it's a high enough price to keep it clean. She feels her family has already paid enough. Niccole Caan, Ken's 5 Eyewitness News.
Travel is changing during the pandemic.
Many people are buying used cars instead of using public transportation, especially those with weak immune systems. How can you get the best car deal and avoid getting schemed? Ken's 5 consumer reporter Niccole Caan explains what to watch for in tonight's Eyewitness Wants to Know.
I was desperate and I thought it was a good deal.
The purchase of this 2007 Nissan Maxima turned into a good deal of devastation for Margaret Iguarte.
I've been diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, and it's progressed quite a bit.
It's her third battle with cancer. She needed the car because the coronavirus eliminated her usual way to get to the doctor.
I was using the Red Cross. However, with this pandemic going on, there isn't any transportation.
She found the car on Craigslist for $1,000.
Supposedly it was a lady that her husband had passed and wanted to just get rid of the vehicle. My husband died of a heart attack, and that's what she was going through, supposedly. And yeah, of course, I reached out and had them in prayer.
The seller said the car would be transported from Montana to San Antonio through eBay.
An invoice with the eBay logo, everything looked legit. However, they were asking for cards, eBay cards. So I went, I purchased them, and I sent them.
Then the seller called again, asking for $800 more to insure the car for the trip.
I yelled on the phone and I said, "What are you talking about?" You know, I read the contract, I read the invoice, and they hung up. So I immediately called back, and the phone had been disconnected. Immediately.
No car and no money.
And the victims get taken for a ride.
Jason Meza of the Better Business Bureau says it's a common scheme. He recommends online car buyers ask for a live video tour of the vehicle.
Just to ensure that they have the vehicle in possession, or at least they have access to it.
Plus get the VIN and title.
Do your own research, your own vehicle history report.
Pay with a credit card or PayPal so you can get a refund if needed.
They broke my wallet, but they're not going to break my faith.
It actually strengthened it.
I had them in prayer. And I still do, actually. They need it. They really do need it.
Niccole Caan, Ken's 5 Eyewitness News.
A fuel mix-up at a Kerrville gas station, and it was drivers who paid the price for much more than a tank of gas. Drivers want to know, when you get the wrong fuel, who ends up paying the repair bill? Consumer reporter Niccole Caan investigates who is responsible in tonight's Eyewitness Wants to Know.
Gas prices are low, but a tank of gas at the Valero Circle K station on Sidney Baker Highway, next door to the police station in Kerrville, ended up costing John Men several $100s.
They were all thinking they were getting gasoline.
His receipt says $28 for unleaded gas. His repair bill says something much different.
$400 in the hole, basically, right now.
The repair bill reads, bad fuel from Valero.
I filled up my gas tank in my truck. What I thought was gasoline turned out to be diesel.
It only took a few miles on the road to realize there was a problem.
Engine knocking really seriously, like a hammering effect, sound like a jackhammer under the hood. And it just would not run. It would not accelerate. It would blow smoke.
The cost for repairs came out of his pocket. Now he's looking for who's responsible. It was difficult for drivers, even Ken's 5, to get answers to who is responsible for the fuel mix-up. Valero said to call the gas station, so I did.
Thank you for calling Circle K.
I'm trying to find out if I can speak to somebody about what happened, please.
We're not allowed to give any of that information.
Drivers finally told me it was Texas Trans Eastern, the company that delivers the gas, that offered to reimburse them for their repair bills.
My name is Niccole Caan. I'm with Ken's 5.
Calls for comment to Texas Trans Eastern were never returned. As for Men, he says,
never again.
To getting gas from this Kerrville gas station. Niccole Caan, Ken's 5, Eyewitness News.
Video conferencing is essential for our jobs during the pandemic. Often it gives coworkers a look into our home and lives they wouldn't normally see.
But be aware, fraudsters are now looking in on video calls to advance their schemes. Eyewitness wants to know, if I need to video conference for work, how can I protect my personal information?
Consumer reporter Niccole Caan shows us how to keep safe and unseen.
The new conference room looks a lot more homey these days.
There are not a lot of people who are lucky enough to have a private area in their home dedicated to work. And they're using a lot of shared spaces, kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms, as their place to do these video conferences.
Matt Newfield is the chief security officer for a global IT company. He says he sees a lot of people oversharing personal information during his video calls. It's not what they say, but what he sees.
I don't know what your refrigerator's like, but I can tell you mine has got bills, it's got letters, and it's got a very nice, well-written piece of paper with important phone numbers and names on it, just sitting right there.
It might even be something you think is safe to show. Almost any item can be a source of information for a schemer, says Michael Skiba, known as Dr. Fraud.
It is so easy for a scammer or fraudster to just pick up little tidbits of information based on your background. It's very common to even see college diplomas and things in the background. And just from that alone, you can grab someone's full name. You can see when they graduated, start to put some pieces together.
You may think it's safe for coworkers, clients, or vendors to see, but it doesn't mean those you know are the only ones looking.
A lot of people are taking the information, these videos, and they're posting them to social media. They're posting them to unsecured areas on the internet, and now that information's out there.
Protecting yourself is easy. Take a look at your background before you start your video call.
See how it appears on screen. If you can't remove sensitive information, do this.
A lot of people do the blurred background, which means I can see your face, but I can't see what's behind you.
Or use a virtual background or video filter. You may think you have nothing to hide. Just be careful what information is seen while you're on the screen. Niccole Caan, Ken's 5, Eyewitness News.